The country continues to record a steady decline in the homicide rate since the start of the year. That's according to the latest statistics from the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF. The figures reveal an 11% drop in murders between January 1 and June 22 this year when compared to the same period last year. According to the JCF, 560 murders were recorded in the country between January 1 and June 22 this year. That's 74 fewer than the 634 recorded in the corresponding period last year. St. James continues to record the most murders, and murders have also increased in Trelawney, St. Elizabeth, East Kingston, St. Andrew Central, St. Andrew North when compared to last year. However, murders and shootings in the St. Catherine North Division, those have declined. The division recorded 38 murders, 10 fewer than last year's corresponding period, and 25 shootings compared to 26 for the similar period last year.
The police have maintained their presence in the area after a surge in crime following the killing of an alleged leader of the Klansman gang, Sheldon Walters, aka Termite. That was in April. So this morning, we're looking at the state of business in Spanish Town since the actions taken by the police and the courts against the Klansman gang. And we're joined by President of the Chamber of Commerce, the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce, Dennis Robotham, the owner of Pressbox Printers, John Lopez, and the chairman of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, the mayor of Spanish Town, Norman Scott. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, good morning, George. Good morning, George. How are you doing today?
Good. Mayor, are you there?
Yes, good morning. Morning to your listeners.
Right, so John is there, Dennis is there, Mayor Scott is there. Mayor, let me start with you. Is your town now a safer place?
Well,
sorry.
Before you answer, Mayor Scott, just a moment. There's someone has a radio on in the background. It's giving a feedback that's off-putting. So if you could mute that, that would be good. All right, Mayor, yes, you're on the floor, Mayor. I was asking you if your town is a safer place now in light of the actions taken by the court and the police against some reputed heavy-hitting gangsters.
well, the records have shown that serious crimes in the northern section of St. Catherine, including Spanish Town, have been on the decline in the past, ever since the past 10 to 15 years. And so the answer to that question would be yes.
Right. So you say 10 to 15 years as the continuum, but I was asking specifically, and if you noticed, I said I went to the safety route. So it's more a qualitative thing than what the numbers say. Based on your interaction with residents in Spanish Town and those who do business, are they saying to you, have they said to you that, boy, they feel a change in the air, they feel a little bit more comfortable doing business and going about their business?
And again, in answering that, I will say to you, the proliferation of new businesses, expansion of other businesses have indicated that, yes, they are more comfortable doing business in Spanish Town, again, within the last 10 to 12 years now.
10 to 12 years. But
Yeah.
for those of us outside of Spanish Town, that's not the feeling we get. And when we test the pulse of the business climate in Spanish Town, we've spoken to Dennis Robotham already and other business interests. That's not the feeling we got, which is why specifically this isn't a conversation looking at the last 15, 20 years or 10 years in Spanish Town. It is in the immediate aftermath of the removal of what the courts have determined were gangsters and the activity, the hold that they had on the town. So you're saying that there has been no discernible change since the conviction of these Klansman gangsters?
Again, I'm going to be answering you. In the last, say, 5 to 10 years, you would have seen there's a shift in the whole way that things are happening in Spanish Town. For example, businesses, Grace Kennedy has come in, Carmed has come in, CB has come in, Sagicor have also come in. Have expanded because they were there. And if you look on the bypass, you'll see development taking place. Of course, Spanish Town at one stage was just a mere dormitory community after the disappearance of those large businesses, the berry, the sugar.
Out by Twickenham Park.
Yes, all of these. After the demise of these industries. So what you're seeing now is a redevelopment. And I will tell you, and Dennis is on the show, and he can also explain to you that we have started a community sensitization, and this is in about 10, 12 years now, where we were trying to get tourists to come to the capital. We started what we call a heritage tourism committee, and it was headed by Dennis himself. And we actually trained persons. We had several meetings with community to let them know that Spanish Town, its rich history, the number of heritage sites that are available, we could make Spanish Town a better place. And coming out of those consultations, those meetings, those trainings with the SDC and the police, we have seen a complete buying into the whole of what we're trying to achieve. And yes, with the advent of these other multinational industries, certainly we see Spanish Town looking much different.
Right. So as we go to the break, what you're saying is that it's not just restricted to what has happened where the convictions of criminals are concerned. The change was happening even before that.
Definitely.
We're having a conversation with the president of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce, Dennis Robotham, owner of Press Box Printers, John Lopez, and the Mayor of Spanish Town, Mayor Norman Scott, about reports that we're hearing of a rebirth of Spanish Town, lots of business interest there in Spanish Town. And we want to get an understanding this morning as to whether the continued efforts of the police in trying to dismantle the Klansman gang and other criminal activities in Spanish Town and the broader St. Catherine, if that is a contributing factor to this, renewed interest in commercial activity in Spanish Town. Welcome back to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you.
To you, Mr. Robotham, you are president of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce, have been doing business in Spanish Town for a very long time. What do you make of what is happening in Spanish Town now, these reports of a rebirth? And at all, do you think the efforts of the police in trying to continuously dismantle different factions of the Klansman gang, is that a contributing factor to it?
Most definitely. I think the mayor alluded to many of the factors, and I concur with him in nearly all of what he has said. First of all, we have to commend the police, the commanding officer, SSP Nicholson, have been doing a tremendous job. And their approach is quite different. It is a more holistic approach that they have taken to deal with crime. They are not looking at or penetrating just one person or one group, but holistically dealing with crime. They have approaches from many areas. Commercially, they have met with all of the stakeholders, for example, the Chamber of Commerce, the business community, the JPs, the teachers, the civic society, that sort of thing they've been doing, and have been doing a tremendous job. We have to give them kudos for that, and they continue to do so. We continue to assist them in whatever way we can. But, of course, Spanish Town has been developing before, even while we were in tandem with the crime situation. But everybody knows that even at this time, I think St. Catherine is possibly the fastest growing parish in the country at this time. As the mayor alluded to, there are so many developments that have been taking place over the last 5-10 years that, it's absolutely tremendous. Fact is, And I think George Davis is a very excellent top shelf journalist. He could look at the fact that at one time, and the mayor can bear me out, St. Catherine used to contribute more to the GDP than all other parishes combined. I think we possibly is still up there. Well, I don't know with the other companies that have gone out, bauxite, etc. But I think, as he indicated, the new businesses that have come in, Sagicor, all the corporate companies have come in, and in the new development on the bypass is an indication that St. Catherine and Spanish Town is on the up and continues to do so because of its geographic position. Geographically, we are in central with the highways that have now come on board, North Coast, South Coast, etc. The proximity to the wharf, etc.
Mr. Robotham?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a dominant part of the conversation in relation to business operators in Spanish Town has always been that the business community, they're heavily extorted. Is that still dominantly the reality of business operators in Spanish Town and the wider St. Catherine?
Well, I don't think it has been eradicated. It is still continuing. The fact is, the methods that the police are now employing is something that is because of a fear factor of the business community that they have. If you don't have the evidence and they are not willing to come forward, that will be a problem, and it continues to be the problem. Nonetheless, they seem to be thriving. And if you notice as well that the Chinese have been taking out a lot of the real estate in Spanish Town, and they continue to probably work with the system, which is not acceptable, but that's the way life is as we continue to go.
John Lopez, are you breathing easier as a business owner, business operator in Spanish Town these days?
Yes, but I will concur with the mayor and also Dennis, because all these entities that have been established recently have been doing groundwork for many years. They don't just spring up overnight. So they must have seen the trend that is going down. Dennis and the mayor are more down in the town.
Yes.
Who probably have to deal with the extortionists. But I think what affects me is the staff that we have to pass through that area to come to work.
Yes.
I think they're more comfortable coming to work now. I'm not having the stoppage and the lateness that we had before. So that signals to me that something is happening to make them more comfortable in their mind to come out to work. So I think all in all, it's been working. The method that the police is using probably don't see it overnight, but it certainly seems to be working.
But here's the thing. When you look at, for instance, let's take Tasty, yeah, on Burke Road, just up the road from KFC. When I went to high school, the shutters that I see on the Tasty now were not there before. It's almost as if it's like a mini Fort Knox. That's just one indicator of what was happening in the town before the past few years. I mean, about how dangerous things had been, how volatile potentially things were. I mean, I stood at that right at the Tasty. They're taking taxi to go home for 5-6 years. So I saw things that I wondered how it is that no law enforcement agent or municipal authority could thwart. It was heavily organized beyond my understanding at the time. The police say they've worked to root out that. So Spanish Town, gentlemen, like it or not, had a reputation and perhaps still does have a reputation. So when Jamaicans look at the Klansman gang trial and hear the police in court and outside speak about the effect that extortion had on the city, the extent of the criminal network and the range of the criminal enterprise, it is more than a fair question to ask if things have not flowed better and easier post the conviction of those who were organizing themselves in a way to have the business community in a vice grip. So it's not an unfair question, and it is something that we are seeking a definitive answer to, even if it may be uncomfortable to speak to it directly. And so, Mayor, I come back again to say, yes, Caramed is there. We can see it from the highway. Yes, Grace Kennedy has put up a huge plan. Caramed's plant is also huge, and there are developments there. But there must be something to say that the effect of the law enforcement and prosecutorial activities has given Spanish Town a lease on life, even if it was breathing better before.
Again, let me say unequivocally that we give support to the police. As a matter of fact, in my deliberation earlier, I said it is a combination of the number of entities, agencies coming together. The police, the SDC, the civil society, teaming up and say, Spanish Town, they want it to be a better place. Hence, we are seeing and reaping the fruits of those work that have started 10, 12 years ago. I noticed you mentioned only one gang. Spanish Town doesn't only have one gang.
Yes.
There are several gangs.
Yeah. But the several gangs, which are splinter groups of two main ones, Klansman and One Order. The only thing is that the police haven't made any big convictions of One Order gangsters in the way they have done Klansman gangsters, which is why it is necessary to mention the Klansman gang, Mayor.
Okay.
You understand?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and what you say is a fact. I'm from the community, Mayor. I know my gangs, is what I would say to you. Yeah, but I'm just saying that the convictions have been under the Klansman banner. No. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So I'm saying, gentlemen. We can't skip the fact, John Lopez.
No. But I said it,
Yes.
I said I want to commend the police.
Yes.
For diligently working assiduously overtime to do dismantling.
So, Mayor, why can't I hear you say straight out that things have looked up even further than they were looking up before, post the conviction of these gangsters? Why is it so difficult for you to say that?
No, because I have to tell you the facts as it is, that it started before.
And I accept you laying out the facts, Mayor. Mayor, it was necessary. Mayor, hold on. It was necessary for you to lay out the facts, Hold on, Mayor. Hold on. It was necessary for you to lay out the facts. I'm very happy that you spoke to Caramed and Grace, because some people didn't associate the advent of those plans with a safer environment. So it was necessary for you to do that. But what I wanted to speak to frontally, so it doesn't appear that you don't want to acknowledge the work of the police and the court, is to say that in this post-Klansman environment, I don't even want to say that too strongly because it's not totally done.
I will not say that.
Yeah?
I will not say anything about any post. I will say
yes,
that the police have done a very good job of dismantling gangs, and hence it has given an atmosphere of more comfort and tranquility within the space, hence persons feel somewhat more relieved going about their day-to-day activities.
Dennis Rotham, if you polled your members in the Chamber of Commerce, say 3-5 years ago, would you say that the feeling of insecurity then, 3 years ago, would have been significantly higher than the feeling of insecurity now in this environment?
Well, I think it would still almost be on the same level, because things have not. I mean, we give kudos to the courts and the legislation that has taken place and the police that have done a tremendous job. But the fact is that we're still in that scenario, that it is not totally out of the woods. We still suffer from some of the repercussions and scenarios of the gangs on that scenario. So we still would almost be on the same level. Yes, it gives you a little more comfort that the police are making inroads. And of course, it's going to give you that sense of security, a little more sense of security. There's no question about that. It might inch up or down a little bit. Yes, I would give you that. That it has enhanced the feeling that something is happening.
John Lopez, what's the next step for you where the order in the town and the security is concerned? Because now, Mayor says you have a good environment. The chairman of the Chamber of Commerce says, yes, the environment is positive in most respects. What's the next step you want to see as a businessman where your staff and your colleagues doing business are concerned?
My view is this. You spoke about the shuttering of companies or businesses. That is not a gang business. That is idlers riding on the back of the work of the police to rob people's place. So the people have to secure the place. So what the police need to do is to prevent that when they're going to have their, do what they have to do. Prevent those idlers. And them know the police know them coming from. I know the areas. So deal with the areas so you prevent those idlers from coming out and make mischief in the town. And the mischief is out that 2 or 3 days, when them can get what them want, thief what them want, and go about them business. That's the facts of their life. And once the police can organize that, then we don't have no problem.
Mayor, in terms of order, it's your job now to improve how the place looks. I can tell you, when I drive down to the former LOJ shopping center now at Sagicor, and I head up towards the same tastier to the KFC, to go either on Windsor to head down to Salt Factory, or to go right to go Rumley inside. I look at the place and I say, but the place look awful. What are you doing to beautify the place? And more crucially, the signs. May I know the place like the back of my hand, and sometimes I don't even know which road is one way from two way.
I'll tell you something, I am concurring with that. You know, in my inauguration speech, I have given commitment to a renewed effort of patching out the town, replacing the signs. Well, as we speak, those signs are being replaced. So if you traverse the town in another month or so, you'll see all the signs. And I tell you something, it is a challenge maintaining these signs. There are these people, for whatever reasons, as you replace them, they remove them. And I tell you, at one stage we were trying to say, if we can find some material that is not of any value to these people who, for whatever reasons, remove the signs. But we have to just continue to be replacing signs so frequently. And it's not a case where, we want to leave it like that. But it is a challenge. Some of them you hear is madman doing it. I don't think it's all people of unsound mind doing some of these things. I think there are some persons who have a vested interest in trying to, cause the city to look in a deplorable way, and hence they will go around and remove these, especially the one-ways, when you put them up, and the stop signs. They remove them. I'll tell you, just when a couple of days ago, someone almost ran into my vehicle coming out of Brunswick Street onto Young Street.
Yes, dangerous place.
I just patched that area just since this week, and I'll tell you, I've ordered that the sign be replaced because there was a stop sign there, and it was taken down. But I think I was somewhere with the most honorable PM, and he was making mention that he's from Spanish Town, and they're trying to hold him to some state. However, we have been doing what we have been doing. It couldn't happen overnight, but for a protracted period, we have been working assiduously to improve Spanish Town in all its aspects. Yes, there is the considered neglect of the town. It is not totally. We are looking at it.
Yeah.
We are working on it.
Yes.
And we will make Spanish Town beautiful again.
I hope so to see that in my lifetime. I'm not really that old. Thank you this morning, gentlemen. I have to run. We have to run. We're out of time.
Just to say one thing quickly.
Yes.
That Ipstrip and I when I became mayor 12 years ago, I said Brunswick Avenue is going to be the Ipstrip of Spanish Town, and so far it is looking like it will get there.
All right, sir. I wait to be wowed. Thank you. All the best this morning.
And thanks for listening.
Mayor Scott, John Lopez, and Dennis Robotham, they're talking about Spanish Town. Dr. Nadine Spence and Kevin O'Brien Chang join us for a chat about the mortal combat that's taking place in the media space between the JLP and the PNP. One press release is met by a rebuttal. One statement is met by a rebuttal. A threat to sue is followed by a threat to sue. A lawsuit is followed by a threat of a lawsuit. And it's tit for tat already. Cliff Hughes loves to say hand-to-hand combat when it comes to voting. But Cliff, this is also hand-to-hand combat. Morning, Dr. Spence. Morning, Kevin O'Brien Chang.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, are we seeing fulsome engagement from the political parties, or are we seeing nitpicking over nothing because they have nothing better to do? Dr. Spence, let me hear you first.
No, man, it's fulsome engagement. I think Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a statement over the weekend about this whole business of how information is being used in the lead up to the elections. And I think what we're seeing is how that is being played out and countered. And we would have heard the JLP talk about going into the local government election and not necessarily engaging in a defensive battle about their reputation. And I think they had indicated that coming out of that election, they are going to be countering the what the Prime Minister at the time called the misinformation and disinformation that is in the public about the JLP, their track record and their reputation and historical record. So I think that what we're seeing, I don't know that it's anything new from the PNP, but I know that the JLP is responding to counter the impact that it felt that campaign led by the PNP had on its reputation.
Kevin, we're in a situation where no press release goes unrebutted. Is that good?
Listen, the JLP has been extremely silly. The PNP is putting out nonsense, and the JLP is responding. Instead of the JLP highlighting the unequivocally good results that the data is showing. I'll give you, for example, look at the PEP results last week. 25% improvement since 2019. Math is up almost 50%. Science up almost 50%. Are they highlighting that? No. They're going on some foolish cats which the public doesn't care about, responding, the JLP, to stupidity by the PNP. Right? Murders are down 12% almost from last year. Right? We had a record low unemployment. We have poverty levels are at record lows. Just recently, last year, data came out too. One of these groups, BTI, showed the poverty level in Jamaica is a record 7.4%. The debt to GDP is the lowest in 30 years. Now, these are fantastic results that show Jamaica is moving on the right track. And is the JLP highlighting these? No. They're going on toe-to-toe with some nonsense with the PNP. Very, very foolish. The JLP should be just highlighting, this is what we have done, A, B, C, D, here the numbers are good. You know what the PNP is saying. Highlight over and over the positivity.
But hold on, Kevin. Here's a problem with that, if we can call it a problem. Mm-hmm. If the JLP makes a post about how well the PEP results have been and the testament to what the government has done to allow the teachers and the students to combine for those results, and they post that on social media, it maybe gets 30 engagements. If you're talking about Michelle Charles's citizenship and Dayton Campbell's statements against her and Ian Hale's using Juliet Cuthbert Flynn's voice in a mock-up conversation, that has 700, 500 comments and interactions. And that's what the political parties are going for?
People love cascas, but how long does it last? Everybody love arguments and quarreling on, but you can easily say, what do? You said they are wrong, and you switch the topic to the positivity. That's how people communicate. You acknowledge the nonsense, you turn it to nonsense, but here, look at what we have done in education. Look what we have done in crime. Look what we have done with the unemployment rate. Look how poverty is falling. Look how the debt to GDP ratio is down. That's how you do it. You acknowledge the foolishness, and you turn it and talk about the substance. These cascastings, yeah, they get a lot of likes and stuff. Who remembers them in a week? Data is forever. It's a very foolish strategy to go down in the gutter. They have a saying, never argue with a fool. He'll drag it down to his level and beat you with experience. And that's what the JLP is doing. They're chatting garbage. The JLP is responding, and then the JLP is in 20 territory, wallowing in the pigsty.
But Kevin, is it a matter of the JLP? Is it a matter of the JLP getting involved in the cascades, or is it that they're providing clarity and moving along?
You provide clarity, and then you turn to the real facts. You can provide it. You don't spend the entire release on the clarity. You counter, they give clarity, show the nonsense, and then you highlight the fantastic results Jamaica is having. Record low poverty level, record low unemployment, best PEP results ever, highest, the GDP, the GDP ratio is the lowest in 30 years. Crime is down. That's what people want to hear. That's what the quality of life in Jamaica is unquestionably improving. Nobody can counter that. The data is unequivocal. And is the JLP highlighting that? No.
Dr. Nadine Spence, Kevin O'Brien Chang, George saying, when you send out a press release responding to something that has been said, provide the clarity, but also highlight the administration's record is the strategy Kevin is suggesting. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this morning.
No problem.
Yeah. Very early in the season, but seeing a
lot.
lot.
It's early,
It's early, man, and a lot of press releases, as all of you would say here, we're in for, right?